Hello, welcome to Laytechs Weekly, episode 18th November 2020. Laytechs Weekly is brought to you by Laytechs, your protection from tech ignorance. My name is Sean. This week's news of the week. Spotify acquires podcast hosting company. The music app is doubling down on its investment on podcasting with a $235 million purchase of Megaphone. This will allow more podcasts to have access to Spotify's proprietary ad insertion technology called streaming ad insertion. Yeah, very creative name. Streaming ad insertion is an advertisement proprietary technology. Megaphone right now has over 5,500 shows hosted on the platform from big publishers like Slate, iHeartMedia, Disney, and Vox Media. The purchase of Megaphone and expansion of its ad insertion tech into more podcasts, Spotify looks ready to monetize via ads. Okay, just a little bit of a history of Spotify. When they started, right, just providing music streaming, Spotify said they would not focus on the advertisement model. And all the advertisement in their free tier was only made to annoy people into paying for music. So that's why if you have tried or you are still on the free tier of Spotify Music, you will see that besides the few ads that always keep repeating itself on purpose, there is also a lot of ads where people talk about why they should get into premium, and sometimes they get a bit long. So that is actually the purpose. They never wanted to actually monetize the advertisement because they wanted everybody to go into premium and pay for the services. I guess the thing is with podcasts, things are a little bit different now because podcasts are usually available for free anyway, and if they don't get it from Spotify, they can get it from other podcast feeders. They're kind of like the new RSS feed format, right? I mean, I'm on Stitcher and it's free. Google Podcast is free. Apple Podcast is free. So Spotify can't say they provide the only paid podcast platform. So in order to do that, they need to change the monetization approach. And I guess they're bringing in the advertisements, and they probably are setting up a very big team to get advertisements and properly make some money from ads. And that advertisement platform model can probably spill over to the free version of Spotify Music as well. And get ready to, I guess, hear some more creative ads coming in on Spotify Music. If you are still on free, but please go premium. I mean, pay for your music. Damn it, it's not that expensive. Google ends unlimited Google Photos storage plan. For the past 5 years, Google has offered an unlimited version of photos where media are backed up at high quality format. It wasn't the full quality, but Google said, and we all agreed, that it was good enough for social media usage. Come June 2021, this will end. Soon, all photos and videos stored on Google Photos will count towards Google Drive's 15 gigabytes of space. So 15 gigabytes being the free tier. And if you upgrade it, you get more. And if you want more, you need to pay for the free tiers. They're not that expensive actually, as a couple of bucks for it. So don't go fretting about it just yet, right? I mean, you're paying for a service. Google also said that all media stored before the June 1st will not count against the 15 gigabyte cap. So we don't have to go culling our existing Google Photos collection yet, but we gotta get ready by changing our habits and figuring out if we need to back up everything onto Google Drive or things that we need. Google actually has always been very generous with storage. They were the first to give out more email and cloud drive storage than others. The company actually believed that as long as Moore's law holds, the capacity of storage chips will double every 18 months, which also leads to a drop in the cost of storage capacity. Okay, let's just put a pin on this one and explain this. Moore's law explains that because technology always keeps improving, right? The capacity of chips, like hardware chips, will shrink in size and double in capacity once every 18 months. That means provided if the push for technology in terms of hardware and chips and processors and everything is at the same pressure, right? Technological advancement will make the chips faster at half the size once every 18 months. So there is the graph there. This was predicted in the 90s and it was held true all the way until, I think, now, where and at that time Google believed that as long as, because Google has always been in the cloud storage business, right? They believed that as long as they could keep expanding storage capacity faster than the world's demand for it at a very cheap rate, because every 18 months, whatever the version that came out 18 months before would have been obsolete and will be cheaper. So then you get it at a very cheaper price. And the race happens. And Google believed that they will always be 2 steps ahead in terms of supplying storage to keep up to the world's demands that the code unlimited will always maintain. Because unlimited just means that as long as they're 2 steps ahead of everyone in the world, they will always be able to cope and be able to give out this storage for free. Perhaps they didn't anticipate the recent spike in video shooting and production due to Snapchat and TikTok and 4K videos, 8K videos, and also COVID, because COVID has sparked a lot of new video production hobbies, I guess. So yeah, no more free Google Photos. No one else will be able to give us for free. It's a very sad, very, very sad day. No YouTube Rewind for this year. Yeah, 2020 has been a very unconventional year. YouTube has traditionally created a tribute to creators, trends, and moments that define the platform. So it's like kind of like a couple of minutes long video where they slap in the top 10s of creators, the most liked creators, the most liked music videos, the most liked dancers. Either top 10 or top 5. But this year they said they won't do it. In a statement, the company said that they don't think that it would be right to carry on as if 2020 wasn't a different year. Traditionally, not all YouTube Rewind videos were good. Some were pretty awesome and some were pretty cringy. In fact, the 2018 one was so bad that it was the most disliked video in the history in 2018. Irony, right? If you are unaware of this, head on over to YouTube and search YouTube Rewind and enjoy all the top 10s to top 5 for the past year. Quite nice little tribute. I mean, it's fun. Yeah. Plague Inc. offers free mode that fights a pandemic. For those who don't already know this, Plague Inc. is a game that most accurately depicts how a virus spreads across borders, earning epidemic and pandemic levels. I played it quite a while back and I really loved it. So in order to reach the pandemic level, in order to win the game, right, players need to balance the speed of infection and fatality as well. Too high fatality and people die faster than the virus can spread. Too many symptoms and vaccines will be developed faster than global coverage of the virus. Too little symptoms and eradication of humans won't be possible, because if you're too little symptoms and no one is actually dying from it, right, then no one actually cares and you will have like 100% infection rate and no one dies, so you don't win the game. The company just released a free version of this game called Plague Inc. The Cure, with donations from Coalition of Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, CEPI, and World Health Organization, WHO. While being fun, the game aims to educate people on how a virus like COVID-19 spreads, its dangers, and preventive measures. The game will be free for all until COVID is over. It's on iOS and Android, with PC and console versions coming soon. Very smart way of educating people on how to prepare and how to live with a pandemic. By playing the game, you know how to avoid, you kind of, it drills you into the habits that you have, and then when you go out into the real world, you can actually adopt the same habits as well. I like this. Brilliant move. So go download the game, get your kids to play it. This is one game where I think that your kids must play, because they need to understand what a pandemic is, what can essentially happen, and how to avoid it. Even small little things. Big Sur on MacBooks, brick some MacBook Pros. If you're running a late 2013 and a mid 2014 MacBook Pro, you may not want to upgrade to Big Sur just yet if you haven't. Many people have been reporting frozen laptops without any simple way of fixing them. So you can't just reboot, pull out the RAM or whatever it is. probably need to drop it by Apple Service Center for a couple of weeks to a month. So it's best to just wait a few more weeks while Apple irons out the bugs. It shouldn't be a big problem. Apple's first release of all these major updates usually come with bugs. So just wait a couple of weeks, see the reviews come in, reports come in, and problems come in if there is any. If there's nothing very stable, then you can go upgrade. Especially when you're using it for work. You don't want it to not work. This week's Tech of the Week, Moderna releases a press statement claiming that their COVID vaccine is 94.5% effective. This is slightly higher than the ones released by Pfizer and BioNTech, which said theirs were about 90% effective. Initial clinical trials started in March, showed no serious safety concerns, while participants reporting side effects like fatigue, headache, and pain at the injection site. None of them actually lasted. Perhaps the key to Moderna's result would be its ability to be stored at refrigerator temperature, which is between 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. Minus 2 to minus 8 degrees Celsius for up to 30 days, compared to Pfizer and BioNTech's vaccine, which needed to be kept at a whopping minus 70 degrees Celsius. That gives Moderna vaccine a better logistics advantage. Imagine having to transport this at minus 70 degrees Celsius. It's crazy. I mean, you need to create special refrigerators for this, distribute them across the world first, especially those who can't afford these ones, right? And then bring these vaccines over. The company says they will have 20 million doses ready by the end of 2020 and 500 million to 1 billion by 2021. I guess this is light at the end of the tunnel. And that said, we still need to practice protective measures until we all get vaccinated, because logistics will be hard, it will be expensive, and if the government does not support, you will need to fork it out from your own little pockets anyway. But it's not all bad news, because having vaccine doesn't mean everybody in the world needs to be vaccinated, because the purpose is to eradicate transmission, not eradicate, but is to slow down the transmission to a point where it's no longer transmissible, right? So if majority of the world gets vaccinated, then the risk of you getting hit by COVID will be minuscule because it's no longer in the air. Then eventually by that time, the generic medications will come out. WHO will approve all generic medications, and then the third and developing world will be able to get it for a cheaper price. That's all for Laytechs Weekly this week. Laytechs Weekly is available on Anchor FM, Overcast, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, and more. Full videos are available on YouTube, and I post bits and clips on Instagram and Facebook if I can, when I have time. This is Laytechs Weekly episode 18th November 2020. My name is Sean. Stay safe, stay home. Au revoir.